Hi there, this is Kyle and Travis with BeyondBipolarBlog.com, and we wanted to just do a year-end review. And I want to wish everyone a happy holidays. I hope you had a safe, healthy, and peaceful holidays, despite it being probably chaotic. And I hope you had loved ones to spend with and you weren't feeling alone. So anyway, I just wanted to do a year-end review. Today is December 26th, a day after Christmas, and I wanted to talk about what happened a year ago. Could you explain a little bit what happened a year ago and why this day is kind of significant a year after?
So for maybe the past couple months, last year in 2021, I was starting to develop suicidal ideations, or SI. It's become progressively worse, and since I don't really deal with holidays very well, especially Christmas, 4 cops showed up because I have a tendency to pretty much post whatever or however I feel on Facebook. So maybe a Facebook friend of mine who I do not know decided to call the cops, and 4 cops ended up showing up around like maybe 10, actually 9 or 10, around there when I was about to go to sleep. So anyways, the cops convinced me, 4 of them, at least one of them convinced me to, just go to the hospital Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. And I believe my brother ended up taking me. And it was actually pretty miserable that day. I mean, I already did take my medication. I was really, really out of it that night. And sadly, I did not sleep very well at all. And even though I took the medication, it made things really rough that night. And ideally, it wasn't that great the first night when I was there.
So I wanted to talk about now, a year after. Thankfully, he did not end up in the hospital, but like some people, holidays are difficult for people with a mental illness. Maybe you could explain why, or why do you feel like it's been hard for you, even though
I think a
you
lot of
haven't
it
been
just
hospitalized?
has to do with routine, and Christmas and other holidays are really not routine for me. I mean, yeah, I like to go out and do things during the summer and things like that, but I've never really been that type of Christmas guy. I never really terribly enjoyed it.
It's strange because mom and dad come over and a whole bunch of people. Is that what kind of, do you feel like they are over your space, or what's going on?
It has to do with routine. Like, I mean, you get together, you're around a lot of people where you don't always see all the time. Number 2,
isn't that supposed to be a good thing though?
I don't know. It's just some reason I just couldn't tolerate this year, and
So
we ended up going to
let's
church.
explain a little bit about kind of what happened. The good thing, he hasn't been hospitalized, but I guess even this holiday was kind of difficult. Maybe you could explain why.
So the last 2 weeks, the Korean church I go to, one of the restaurant owners attends there,
Kingdom Korean Presbyterian Church,
and they were desperate for a pianist. So the minister asked me to play. Well, the first week was absolutely miserable. I ended up getting up at 7:30. I tried to practice, but I was falling asleep on the road, and it was pretty much a hazard. I kind of already knew once I got there that I was going to play terribly, and that's actually what ended up happening. In the end, I ended up not performing, and the second week, I even split it up. The songs, I was supposed to learn 6, and maybe I did like 3 versus 2, but
I did too.
But we both kind of suffered.
I hate to say it, even though it looked kind of simple, we played a few Christmas musics. I played It Became a Midnight Clear and some Korean song, and you played Hark the Herald Angels Sing, and it's really difficult. All my Final Fantasy stuff, it takes months, mainly years to learn, even though it's way more advanced level. And these were kind of like, I guess, beginner, intermediate, but it's actually a lot harder than I thought to perform, let alone you have to play with people. So
yeah, a lot of the issue that is that it's really crunch time, because last week I had to literally learn, well, the week before I literally had to learn 6 songs, and yeah, I ended up recording them, but it took like 176 takes to at least get 6 of them done. And my biggest issue is that since I'm on medication, like, it's likely either the antipsychotic the Caplyta or any other antipsychotics that people are on, or maybe the mood stabilizer like Lamictal or others that I used to be on, like lithium, they have a tendency to make you really, really tired. And for me, if I don't get enough sleep, like at least 10 hours, it really ruins my day and actually really, really hurted my performance.
So describe that day. You woke up, and then how are you
So I
feeling?
woke
What
up
happened?
7:30. I felt pretty good. Played a little bit, but then I started getting really, really tired. I was in the kitchen, kind of just laying my head down on the floor. I got ready, suited up, but it was really, really tough because on the ride, I just literally kind of just passed out and was pretty much out of it. I mean, when we even got there, the minister was sitting at the door, and I literally did not want to go in. I just had to really, really force it, and definitely was not feeling it at that moment in time.
So at the point he was practicing, making a lot of mistakes. I tried to attempt it, but I made some mistakes, but mainly it was just too slow. I suggested playing with one right hand, but he still wanted both. So in the end, you end up, what, sleeping in the car?
So
describe that.
just, I have to get 10 hours of sleep, and I don't sleep that early on weekdays, and I try, but see, I take my meds at 9, and it still maybe takes an hour and a half or 2 hours of sleep, and maybe due to anxiety or just performance jitters, I just didn't sleep well that night, and I only got like 7 hours, and I knew immediately that wasn't enough when I was just out of it, kind of like a drunk feeling, little sleep. That's kind of what it felt like.
So you slept in the car. It was pretty cold, -3 degrees out.
So basically, I just kind of rested in the car. I don't know if I really slept, but I totally missed the sermon, and it was like an hour 15, and I almost missed like maybe 3/4 of the lunch they had. So I just finally felt a little better. I came in, but still...
He still had his head down, and there's one friend of ours, they didn't know what was up with him, and they thought that maybe he could just change his thought process. I told her that the holidays are really difficult, but in her mind, she thinks that it can be changed by the train of thoughts and maybe go volunteer. Do you think that would help? Could you describe?
Well, I wouldn't even want to volunteer because I'd still be too tired to do it. I just literally wanted to go to sleep, go back to bed, crawl up into it, and actually when I came home, that's what I ended up doing. Totally avoided my Christmas happiness. I mean, I did sleep after I came home, but once I fell asleep and actually got some decent sleep, the night went a lot smoother. And we had a Christmas party at our aunt's place. My family, my brother,
slept,
his girlfriend, my sister's boyfriend, and my aunt and dad. It had a pretty good session because I was able to get some sleep. I was able to focus, and that really overall helped my mood.
So I guess what's the lesson of being a piano performer?
The truth is,
and do you think that we don't challenge ourselves enough, and being a mental illness, is it okay to say no and have limitations? Or
I hate to say it, I mean,
or we just don't care?
My
or should we care? What do you think?
My sister's boyfriend gets 10 hours of sleep a night, and he's a lawyer. So there's just some people in general that need more sleep. I don't even know if he's on hardcore meds.
My girlfriend does need sleep, but she can function with 4 hours. I mean, a lot of people do. I mean, here's a story for me, even though I repeat the same thing. I used to have insomnia. That's a common thing with a lot of people that have bipolar or depression, or maybe just people in general. Maybe they can function with less hours of sleep, but I feel like society probably places more emphasis on making people the 8 to 5 kind of box, when there's actually some people that are genetically predisposed to waking up later and they feel better and they work later. They're actually doing studies on school children where they want to push back the clocks for an hour for them because they stay up late and they don't perform as well. Yeah, they can perform better, but there's also a backlash of it too, because usually most things have to be during the day. Obviously, I think classes can be at night, but people have to like go to play sports outdoors and do extracurricular activities, and that's why I think they actually make the kids wake up early. But to me, in my benefit, I feel like I would be able to perform better if they were more flexible and later during the day. And that's just how
I believe in general, yeah, it takes some talent and especially hard work. But like I said, if you cannot play in the morning, then it's really gonna reduce your playing ability and could literally just destroy your ability to perform that morning. And that's kind of what happened to me and Kyle. And not only that, I mean, Kyle and I are not really church people. We just go because we have friends that attend there every so often.
Do you think because we're not church people, is that why we have a mental illness?
No, I personally think it's just, you got to kind of have an interest in Christian music. And
yeah, they offered me to play Christian music, and I said, nope, I think I play Final Fantasy music.
But I guess it's worth mentioning, I did reach out to the pastor. He's known about my bipolar disorder. I did tell him that it's probably why it's hurting performance, and I'm not an early morning person.
Deep down, what did he say?
I mean, he did ask me to try again, and this last Sunday, it was just horrible. I have already made the decision to not even do it. At least I tried. I mean...
He said God wants you to be happy.
Yes, he just says, try to enjoy your time. God wants you to be happy and things like that. I mean, I literally asked him, like, my situation regarding what happened that day, because I wasn't sure if the other members or family was kind of just concerned or thought I was an asshole and standoffish.
You made a lot of posts on Facebook. I did too about it. Most people were actually very supportive. Actually, there was one Korean adoptee lady that actually said that maybe it's not good for your mental health doing this, and maybe do you agree? And
well, another thing worth mentioning is that in general, it kind of got me thinking about where my life is today and how I think about it tomorrow. Yeah, I could have, like, you know, a year to 4 or 5 years where I don't need to go to the hospital, but generally speaking, every year to 5 years, I'm actually in the hospital. And I've kind of tried to reach to Pastor Danny because, you know, yeah, there's psychiatrists, yeah, there's therapists, yeah, there's other types of networking that you could do, but I feel maybe my lack of faith or developing my faith would benefit me in the future if I ever get into the position where I want to commit suicide. I got a message. He texted me back. It's pretty lengthy. I haven't really looked at it, but...
Oh, when?
Today.
That's why I was on the phone. Did you reply to him?
Yeah, I did, but it was kind of generally kind of an extended topic. Like,
is he saying if you're okay?
Like, I just basically asked him, like, are you okay with us calling you Father Danny, or is Pastor Danny is more appropriate because you're not Catholic? And another option or question I had was, what do you do with people with addiction? We were told that those that have overcome addiction, that it's themselves that can only actually let them to get over their addiction. No one can tell you, but
they use faith though.
But I was just kind of curious if he had any insight on that. Like, how would he go into handling a situation where you have an addict and, you know, they probably ain't going to quit anytime soon? How do you help someone like that when you know for certain, or people that have addictions feel that no one can tell them what they can and can't do? It has to be themselves. And I just thought, well, what's the point of trying to maintain cordial friendship or connecting with them when it just seems to be using you? And the last question was actually related to a friend in Korea. I mean, I mentioned medication and hospitalization, but she got really offended and blocked me. So I was just asking him. I told him I feel medication and hospitalization is the best bet to get well. It's over therapy, it's over psychiatry, it's over partial hospitalization, it's over IRTs, ARNS work, ILS, CADI waivers. Because typically in a day or even the next 2, 3, 4 weeks, you will notice a big change if the medications do work. And this other girl felt like I should have just said, sorry you feel that way, and
she just wants you to baby her.
So sorry you feel that way is one thing she said, and what can I do for you? Which is, I don't know, I feel like it's not solving the problem. And I was trying to talk to him, like, how do you go about, you know, making suggestions? Do you use faith or other types of things? And I don't know, yeah, that's kind of what I went in today, but he didn't respond back, probably tomorrow.
So here's the question for you. How do you feel like you have control over your illness, or do you?
I think overall I do, but if I don't get enough sleep, it's going to suffer.
So I really feel like sleep is a really important part of functioning, even maybe more than meds itself. I think rather than trying to force someone into a box 8 to 5 or whatever, obviously it's difficult when you have family and kids, because with kids you have to wake up like even earlier than them. most people can suck it up and do it, but I don't see myself ever happy doing that, let alone stable. I found what helped for me in general is rather than forcing myself into that box, I'm better off just doing what fits and works for me, i.e. the second shift, like 11 a.m. to 2 a.m., which would probably be more my cycle. I'm pretty sure there's more people like me, but most people, or at least society, is more geared towards morning people, which is really unfortunate. I feel like it's not just medication that is important, but actually a stable sleep cycle. And obviously, I feel like the whole issue mainly wasn't that we're not good pianists, but the early sleep cycle is what kind of messed things up, correct?
Yeah, primarily that's the issue. So, you know, you got to kind of pick your battles, wins and losses, and this was kind of a loss, but in the end, it taught us something, and the fact that is we gave it a try, it didn't work out, time to move on.
Yep.
And that's kind of what we did. So we're probably not going to do any morning shift church performance. Maybe volunteering.
You seem to be okay going to church, though. I mean, it used to be hard for me.
It's okay when I was at Nancy because I didn't get up at 7:30 in the morning. I slept till like 9 or 9:30
From here,
and show up
it's
late.
like 30
No, it's 45 minutes.
Oh, 45 minutes.
So from my house, it's 45 minutes to get to church, and that takes a huge chunk of time.
And you have to be like an hour there earlier.
And church is at 10:30, so maybe half hour, 45 minutes to get ready.
I mean, I practiced 1 to 2 hours, and I still played pretty slow. I understood it, but 1 week time frame every day for 1 to 2 hours isn't enough, and let alone I can't commit. I have so many video footage that I'm drowning in. I still have illustration books that I haven't even started, which is kind of bad, but I still communicate with her. She's okay with it. She has more of a chillax attitude. I feel like that's what helps mental health, is just finding people that are flexible. It doesn't mean you have to box yourself into a certain period, and just because you can't do it doesn't mean you're a worse off person or you're weak or you're not a useful, well-being person. It's just who gives a shit? You find things that just work for you, and you shouldn't have to be guilty for doing things that make you not just happy, but I feel like stability is important, and having good health management, which is also important too. So
I feel like vulnerability is really important when it comes to mental health. You kind of convey a message to someone, or at least kind of a cry for help or advice or whatever, saying that you're going through a tough time. I mean, there's surprising, like,
a lot of suicide.
Twitch,
yeah,
a dancer died, and it was actually really surprising because he seemed like a happy-go-lucky dancer. Another guy, the Green Ranger,
Jason,
but he ended up committing suicide too,
Frank or something,
due to ex conflict and stuff like that. So you never know what someone's going through, and I guess it's really difficult to pick up signs, but
with us, we're pretty much an open book. We're probably too open, but I feel like that's what kept at least my brother alive. I don't know what he feels.
Well, I'm pretty open on Facebook, and but at the same point, like, I'm at least vocal about it. And I think that's more important, that you get it out than
a lot of people are afraid of being vulnerable and foolish and people judging them. I guess you and I don't care for some reason.
Well, for the most part, I mean, it's okay with Facebook, but it's pretty different in person.
Yeah, I agree. We ain't gonna just say, hey, we have a mental illness in front of like a random person. That's totally different, but we just use Facebook as our diary. So this is a year-end review, and I wanted to end this. So why are we down here? Even though it looks like garbage, this is all our art stuff. So like we said before, we attended this Artability workshop that we end up having to sell all our art, and we were super excited. I wanted to say we made around a couple $100 each. My brother thought it was only 100, but no, I checked the results. We actually made a couple hundred. I won't put the exact results.
Not a couple hundred.
We did 200.
I didn't make.
Yeah, you did.
I made 150.
Nope. Look at the check. It's when you open this up. So these are the bags that we got from People Incorporated. Our art stuff's all in here. As you can see, I wanted to explain a little bit. These are our art stuff that we didn't sell. My brother just made this box. There's another big box that we bought over here to carry, and we also have a transporter, 2 boxes and 3 boxes of all our other art and all these canvases. Even though it looks like garbage, we spent a lot of investment on getting prepared for
2 art shows.
The 2 art shows, the Kimchi Festival in September and the Artability workshop in October. And we were pretty excited because I did sell a few prints at the Kimchi Festival, but People Incorporated was very successful. So I just wanted to talk about it. We got a few boxes, and they got a few little sunglasses. Got sunglasses, keychain, and 2 pens. And we got a nice bag, but there's some stuff in here, and I just kind of want to do a little unboxing. So maybe I'll just get a little closer. So it's probably just stuff. So we got a shirt. Let me can hold this up. We got a shirt, which is nice. And we got an umbrella, which is cool. And some pamphlets. Pictures. So they actually gave us a letter. I don't have it in front of me right now. They actually gave us a nice letter saying, hey, thanks for all we done. So that says 232, man, not 100. So my brother made 232 bucks, and I made 256 bucks. So I sold 4 Korean hearts, surprisingly, in the country of Korea, and the Chobits drawing. And my biggest, most expensive one was the Seoul City Tower, which was interesting. And I guess, do you remember what you sold? Maybe you can just say it.
So I sold the Mondrian, which is the Mondrian kind of like boxes of different colors. Saying it's Ranger, but this got to be the worst art I ever done. I used this swipe technique and did a overshadow.
You did sell the Christmas one?
Yeah, 24 bucks.
Which was terrible.
And a line, which is actually my favorite, for 120. And a Joseph's Ghost Art sold for $64.
Do you feel like you undersold your art? Maybe
yeah, I gotta be honest. That's another worth mentioning. I totally undersold my art. I literally
Do you regret it?
I literally dropped prices.
I kept my prices slightly higher. I didn't drop
70%.
I don't know why Trash dropped it so low.
So like it says 24, 120, 64. I'm used to selling like 250, 500.
So none of your black and white drawings sold, surprisingly. I don't know why. Maybe you could explain.
Well,
I don't know.
You know, I had a lower price for a lot of them, but maybe they just didn't sell because of the type of people that were there, and maybe they didn't want to afford the price, even though I dropped a whole bunch of price on it.
So let's talk a little bit more about the art show in general. So what were your thoughts of the art show? Maybe you can explain a little bit. And he's going to grab some art right now. This is actually where we actually work, too, even though it looks like a pig pen. We apologize. It looks terrible down here, but this is how we work in garbage. Because for garbage people, I don't know.
We're definitely not totally clean, but you know, I've done several works, and I tried to.
Are you gonna show all of them, or just a few?
I guess you could hold it. Hold it. All right. So here, I'll just give it to me, and I'll grab another one. So just start talking for whatever you want.
So my brother's just showing some of the art that didn't sell. I honestly think he should have sold these more. And the line, I feel like it shouldn't have been low to 140. He should have at least kept it 160.
No, it wasn't.
Because he spent a lot of work on that. But I mean, this art's pretty good. So, I mean, I actually thought of all the art, they actually complimented us. Of course, we already did a video of that. You can check the link below about our little talk a little bit about it, but I just want to do a little review. So you have anything else to say about these drawings?
I don't know. Do you want to share some of these? I mean, that's the one a print.
So these are prints, but we couldn't sell prints there. So these are some of the stuff that didn't sell, surprisingly. And I'm just wondering, what are your afterthoughts? Do you have any things that
next time we do something, we are not going to haul everything because I damaged quite a few of my works, and it was totally a pain in the ass. Not only that, if they don't sell, it's really.
Can you explain a little bit? It's the shit that got damaged in the process, and what did we do? We put everything in bubble wrap. So we actually bought 2 big rolls of bubble wrap, and we put them in cardboard, as you can see. We kept everything in boxes now, and also we put the ones in frames. So for future use, I don't know. The future is that it took way too long to set up.
We tried to sell CDs, but it didn't really help.
I made actually money at the Kimchi Festival just playing my music, surprisingly. A few people put $5. So these are Travis's CDs. They haven't sold. It's called Duo Tracks. They're very beautiful orchestral music. So we bought all this stuff, and it's a lot of crap. But in general, I guess some lessons about it. The Artability show, surprisingly, was very successful. Obviously, we didn't sell everything, but we felt like So we're missing a handle, which is kind of annoying my brother.
It is.
Because these were pretty expensive. So maybe we can just return it.
It's kind of
hopefully.
weird though. I can't believe it's gone.
And you also bought a new airbrush thing. Can you explain? Was that really expensive or
airbrush thing?
I thought you bought a new airbrush thing.
Oh no,
I want to
it's just
explain
a
all this stuff.
It's just a regulator.
So you bought a new regulator, which it's not behind here.
It's really important about the pressure you
You sure it's not in the box? So anyway, my brother's gonna see if we could find the handle. But is there any other last afterthoughts that you want to talk about the show and some future? Obviously, we do want to do another show.
Well, obviously,
probably with
we're not
Artability.
going to haul our work because they can get easily damaged. We're probably going to
We're probably just gonna
do
sell
more
prints. Prints are way to go because it's cheaper and it's only galleries where it's actually worth it.
Yeah, we're very particular about our work. We spent so much
Hours and money.
I mean,
I don't think we didn't make a profit at all, but it's good that we made some money on our stuff. I'm pretty happy that we actually sold stuff. So that's me in general.
we're just really particular because can get really damaged, and if you want to get professional.
So some light.
look.
Oh, good. So we found it. So some lessons. We still want to do more art shows. We're gonna sell more prints, obviously, and it's where we have our own art galleries where we can sell. So I guess that could be future use. I haven't done anything art for a while. I want to share my
these?
girlfriend's dog.
Just examples.
I don't know do you have any art products that you have in mind that you want to do or not really? This is my prints that I sold. We made cards. So these are more prints. This actually sold. I sold these to my family members. It's my mom that's probably our biggest person that buys our art. Which thanks to her, I did this painting. It says Merry Christmas, and my mom did buy a few art, and she actually had it up on. I saw it on my aunt's refrigerator, which made me smile. Any information than that? Is there any things that you want to explain about your art? Is there any future projects that you want to talk about aside from that's art related?
You might not be a millionaire doing art or whatever, but if you have a passion for something, you'll definitely be a lot happier.
We've been meeting this Korean lady for a while. She's actually very well learned. She's actually highly educated, PhD, went to the high school in Korea, and we met other university professors from the U of M that explained that in the end, you can't run away from the artists. And like he was explaining that he feels like a lot of the art that sells is kind of crap. It's commercialized, and he feels like you still have to stay true to yourself. You got to still do what's inside your heart. Although art is supposed to be structured, you have to watch out for the balances and stuff. But he has his own art show that we want to visit someday too. But yeah, this is our art where we do our work. So there's a lot more boxes back here with canvases. All our art's not sold here. My brother actually built this. I don't know how long that took him. This art wagon and all these canvases, and we have multiple boxes. So is there any other last words you want to say before we end this video?
Not really. I mean, if there's something else you want to add to it.
So I think that's it. So anyway, we just want to wish, as 2022 comes to close, we just want to wish everybody, hopefully you had a happy and safe holidays. Hopefully you have loved ones to talk to. Feel free to reach out to us, and we're going to show all our art stuff below. So is there anything that you want to say?
Yeah, I just want to say,
audience?
I mean, if you have suicidal ideations, please reach out to someone. It's more important to be vulnerable and sound stupid than to take your life and have a whole bunch of people just worried and sad and just really hurt by a person's actions that commit suicide. Now, I know for certain for me, I feel like meds has helped the most, more so than anything. Finding the right med has helped the most. As well as I feel another thing that has helped the most was hospitalization in the end, because you know you're in a safe environment, and there's a lot of people that have depression, bipolar, schizophrenia that refuse to get help, or
so there's a lot
they're
of
stuck in their addiction.
So there seems to be a lot of celebrities that constantly commit suicide. If you were them, do you have any other last words or advice, or what do you think they should do? Voice their concerns more. Don't be embarrassed.
Everyone that has issues should
open.
at least voice their concern to someone. It could be anyone. I mean, well, someone that's not toxic and not going to ruin your life, but you got to be open. I mean, there's a suicide hotline number. What it is it's a 3-digit number. Well, listed in the description below, but it's kind of like the 911 for mental health. And, you know, I've had trouble reaching out to people, at least one girl that has always came out to me, and whenever I try to give her advice, she seems really threatened and angry and things like that. And I get it. I mean, maybe I'm not the most greatest person or sensitive person when it comes to getting help, but I do believe in taking action. I feel like action's more important than sensitivity. I feel like back then I wouldn't do anything to challenge my life, to do anything better, until my mom convinced me to go to the hospital. And since
Your girlfriend did too.
And
Nancy.
And since then, generally speaking, I kind of got into a position where I feel like meds have benefited me the most. Now, for someone, it might be group therapy, psychiatrists. I mean, that's meds too. But there's also like independent living skills worker to help you during the day, arms worker for mental health management,
Psychiatrists.
and there's
Therapists.
IRTs, group homes if you need to live by, and if you're on disability, there's actually individual rooms you could rent. That's 30 out of 30/60, I believe, or maybe 33/60. Kind of varies if you have disability and on Social Security. But I just want to say, stay safe, have a good holiday. I don't know if Kyle's going to load this by New Year's, but, you know, try your best to get through the downs of life. And, you know, some people kind of get that swing where they're so excited the first and then they get depressed the second. But, you know, try to remain mentally healthy, step back, be mindful, and that's it.
Try to get outside too, even if it's cold. We hope and pray that 23 gives you a lot of blessings and success, love, and just happiness and health. So thanks again for this year-end review. It's a long-winded video. We probably went over a half hour right now, but this is a really important video I wanted to get up since it was a year after my brother did end up getting hospitalized. And thankfully, as my brother stated to our aunt, what did you say that made him?
It was kind of a half joke, but I said, the best gift I can give you is that I'm alive.
And she laughed. In the end, it's true. So sometimes
She
people have
says
to
that,
fight for
yes,
their
that
life,
is the
so.
best thing. I mean, it was kind of like as a joke, but there's
It's
some
true.
half-hearted reality to it.
So your life matters even if you don't think it does, and you're loved even if you feel like no one doesn't. The best thing you can do if you're feeling like crap, try to sleep on it. That's the best thing you can take care of your mind, body, and spiritual health. So anyway, we wish you a happy new year as we send off, and we hope to have a lot more videos. Oh, can you explain a little bit about all those subscribers you've been doing and what the hell's been going on there?
My subscribers are pretty cheap. Now, they aren't the most high quality views, but I spent a whole bunch of work and, you know, I don't know, getting in shape and
And I spent a
staying
whole bunch of
mentally-
work getting fat.
So basically, well, I guess it won't hurt just to take it off quick.
My brother's more in shape now. I'm basically 129.3, and you're what, 126.3?
I'm 126.8 right now, but I generally speak I'm between 120.
They can't hear you. You guys, it's hard to put this thing on it, and I put it on my nipple, and it hurts, so I don't recommend it. So you just gotta hold it up, which is fine. All right, sorry about that. So basically, I spent the last 4 years pretty much getting in shape. Actually, the last couple months, I've lost maybe 10 pounds because of a med change, and that can literally kind of just... People don't realize this. Yes, they're known that medications can cause weight gain, but to at least take action and try to find the right med, which is Caplyta, another antipsychotic. I used to be on Latuda, but it started to not work as well. So, yeah, this is kind of what happened the last 4 years. We dedicated another
weight loss.
specialty that we wanted to celebration we want to celebrate is thanks to your TikTok crap. You gained from what, 500 to 1,000 subscribers?
So was that
less
like-
than a
no,
year,
it's-
naturally. So
I think it was like 527, and now it's at like 1,070. So 600 subscribers.
So congratulations, I guess. He's gonna keep continuing the TikTok attitude, I guess.
Pretty fun to me.
But thanks for subscribing, everybody. Maybe we'll do a quick show off as we go here at the end. So thanks again. Okay, thanks. So someone says my brother has bad genes. He'll describe that too.
So basically, I mean, my back is horrible. I mean,
And there's supposed to be a V taper, which I guess we don't have.
yeah, our V taper is not really visible, but I mean, you can obviously see the hard work and training we put in.
We put in about a couple hours every day at the gym, 5 days a week. So even though rain or shine, I actually been going on my bike just to the gym since I didn't have a car for a while, even the rain and snow, even though it kind of sucked, at least I was getting my calories in.
Yeah, so I mean, we're in good shape. So
Even though it's not everything and it doesn't obviously cure depression, it's important. Why?
I feel like, New Year's has come in. So many people want to lose weight, but they end up not following through. And it largely has to do with your desire. You have to have enough leverage. And for me, like I said before, is that I was at a point where I wanted to take my own life because I got so sick and tired of the way I looked, which was pretty overweight. I mean, I don't recommend you guys to feel that way, but it has given me a lot of leverage to continue to work out for almost 4 years now.
All right, so we're going to do a final pose session. That's it.
Okay.
Fitness journey. And
There's a short section in my Beyond Bipolar blog, so if you're bored, feel free to take a look at them.
Okay. All right, everybody. Have a happy New Year. Happy 23. And we wish you happiness, love, bliss, and everything like that.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. Bye.